Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attacker Productions. Today I'm Bancroft being joined once again by Jimmy, Trevor, and like always, Fluff.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
What's up, beautiful people?
And like always, there's buttons down below. Feel free to click them, they're there for a reason. Today's matchup, we got kind of like a rematch between Trevor and Jimmy. Their actual tournament match went by super quick. It was almost one-sided. If you didn't check it out, there's another video for it. But today, they kind of went back at it. Jimmy changed his deck up, so we still got the SS3 from Trevor, but Jimmy's brought Android 16. Now, Jimmy, we got to tell people real quick. Are you chasing the bandwagon, or did you actually send me a Discord message with your actual list?
I am all over this bandwagon, bro. I'm all over it. I'm on the 16 train now. I didn't even care about this league. I didn't even read this card before it topped at Nats. So this is my first time ever playing 16.
In all seriousness, Jimmy literally sent me a Discord message going, "This is my list," before they revealed their list. I want people to know that I did not copy it. This is what I have. And when they revealed it, I think they were almost kind of similar, weren't they?
The only major difference in the list, which most of the cards that I had in my main board were in his sideboard. So stuff like Pretty Black Hole was in my main board, where he had it in his sideboard. I think I was also running the Zeno Unison in my original build, but I switched it over to the Majin Buu Unison, just like every good blue deck was. So it's very similar to the deck that topped, but I will say that he was much better at piloting the list, and I learned a lot from watching his match at Nats.
Nice. So with that being said, hope you all enjoyed today's matchup.
But yeah, this is my first time playing against A16. I think Jimmy built originally the deck forever ago. I mean, no, he didn't. Somebody else did.
Yeah, exactly.
This is his first time playing it.
Yeah.
Anyway, whenever it was kind of hot at our locals, I wasn't playing at the time. I think I was on one of my break stint. So this is my first time playing against it. The only card I remember is this Android 16 Energy Amp, because I used it in my Dr. Wero deck that was ramp and then just shove as many cards under lab as I could to win. It was really meme. It's not very good, but it was fun. So it's that I was actually able to board a Unison this game, which was cool. And it's gonna do a lot of work. So I'm happy to have it on board.
Yeah. I would say that this image right here is a stark contrast to the early game and the Finn matchup, which after I was feeling real confident after the Finn matchup, and then seeing you with a Unison and that much energy this early, it was kind of a clincher, to be completely honest with you.
Definitely felt a lot better. Can confirm.
I'm really big fan of 16, and I've been so for a long time, and it just kind of fell off for me. And then I apologize, I'm forgetting the player's name who got second place with 16 at Nats. I think it's a fan fucking tastic meta call at the moment, because it has answers for pretty much everything. Like, it's good blue, it has access to good green cards, has access to one of the best Unisons in the game. All of the 16 cards are fantastic and have very good counters to strong options in the meta. It's fantastic. It's stuff like hand control, because you kind of have this second hand of your energy that, something like Cell Surge cannot touch. So once you lose out on your draws on the backside, you don't really care, because now you can combo from the drop area once per turn, and then still play battle cards from your energy and still continue to get that ramp. And then if you're lucky enough, you can hit more 16s to keep playing them out. So I think it's just a fantastic meta call currently.
I was surprised at how much utility the Android 16 cards that have come out somewhat recently have on them. I wasn't able to play around it because I had no clue what they did until they happened, and then I immediately forgot what they did because it happens again later.
Yeah, so when I was like really heavy on 16, the only cards that were available were the 6-drop SR and then the 7-drop. I believe it's a rare. I could be mistaken on that. So the deck really didn't have a ton of great options to play. Like the 6-drop 16 is nothing to sneeze at. It's a dual attack blocker revenge that forces your opponent to discard a card on play, or you can search out a 1-drop android, but who does that? Which is it's a fantastic card, but the 7-drop was only playable late game. If it was kind of like played as a finisher, where now you have the tournament pack promo. I'm forgetting the name of Star Walt Defender. You have Limiter Disengaged. These more cheaper options that are also 5-drops, which can play into Zamasu, which is another great tech option for this list. But there's just a little bit of something for thwarting any type of play style. And we had a fun couple of turns here of turning cards sideways at each other's unisons, and we were basically just playing chicken. And there I was talking shit, and I'm like, you know what? You're not going to attack my unison because I'm going to block with it. But I was scared to try to push this early as well. I didn't know exactly what you had in your hand at this time. Do you exactly remember what you had?
Oh, absolutely not. At this point, I know I had some Vegetas in it, the SS4 Vegeta blocker that basically lets me draw 4 cards at this point. I know I don't have an Overwhelm target in my hand. I'm sure I have some defensive options as far as like negates go.
Yeah, I was scared what you had defensively because I didn't see a lot of that in our Finn matchup, so I didn't know if you were just not playing defensive options or if you were just withholding them or didn't see them.
Boy, I can tell you one card I didn't put in here that I was kicking myself for later. The good old Son Gohan Baby's Minion Brainwashed card.
That would have been a pretty stinky one right there. If you don't know, 16 does not draw on the backside on leader swing. So you kind of have to have a unison to supplement that, i.e. the Boo unison. So anything that's going to touch the hand for trying to push could be an issue. I did say like Cell Surge is, you have a decent matchup with that because you have the extended hand. But I kind of want to have a hand against a deck that could possibly go wide with something like a Booney, or if you're a psychopath, you somehow run yellow in your mono blue Soul Striker and play the Apocal Rose. Which honestly, during the Finn matchup, I was really scared of that card. Then I realized, oh, it's not Soul Striker, not running blue yellow. I'm okay.
Yeah. It's actually even hard to run Overwhelm in this deck sometimes. Because you can hit it off your leader. It sucks when it happens. Happened to me a lot whenever I first started playing, because I think I was also running Champas at the time. So like felt like every game I played, I would charge a Champa or my Overwhelm target. 2 cards out of my 4 card deck.
For sure.
You should ask Fluff about old school SS3 if you're not aware of it.
Yeah, old school SS3 is a ton of fun.
No, I meant like you're ramping the cards.
Oh yeah, no, that was sarcasm in that.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, no, that was lots of sarcasm. Basically, you ran pretty much a blue-red deck with 2 black cards in the deck, and I don't know how many times I would start off and I would hit a black and a red card, and it's like, well, no blue this week.
That was always the most fun. I remember playing blue-yellow OG SS3, and I cannot tell you how many times that I would hit both of my Bardock the Progenitors because I was broke and only had 2 of them, and nobody else would let me borrow them. So that I remember that. I remember that dearly.
Yeah.
So Star Walt Defender. one of my favorite options, because he just comes in and just blows up something 4 or less, or gets rid of something 4 or less, and is also a 5-drop for this guy.
Yep.
So most of the 16s, like Limited Disengage, is also a 5-drop, but you kind of want to keep him on the field because he's a revive blocker that could remove a marker off of a Unison. But Starwalt Defender, once he's there, he's just a 15k body after his effect resolves. So I love being able to snipe him with a Zamasu and then board a Indestructible. I don't think it comes out in this match, but I do also run as another supplemental draw option and also another defensive option. I do run... I'm now blanking on the name. I had it on my tongue a second ago. The 4-drop Piccolo from Draftbox 4. I'm completely missing the name here.
Assimilated ability.
Assimilated ability, yes. Bond 2, activate battle, blow up a card, draw a card. Card has to be 5 or less. I do run that in here, and it's a fantastic pair with Zamasu because he's indestructible, so they have to have barrier removal for the Piccolo if they want to stop you from being able to activate that effect. So you run this Boo package in here, and every time I think of Trevor, I think of you playing Blue Boo or any other sort of colored Boo, but Blue Boo sticks out to me the most. So how does that normally work out for you?
Well, it can go well. And I find that when I played it tonight, or the night we played these games, every time I tried to play it, either wouldn't do me good in the situation, or it got counterplayed. Which is, in this deck, it's not the end of the world if it gets counterplayed, because I just restand 3 at the end of the turn, and it's like I lost no energy for trying to play it. Which is why I primarily like using it in this deck, as opposed to like SS4 Vegeta, or even the deck it's supposed to be played in, the Blue Boo deck, because by the end of the turn, it's a net nothing energy cost, and it comes back to my hand. So, however, in hindsight, as I've played more of this match, I realize that it actually gives me an issue because it comes back to my hand, but I can't put it back in my energy once I'm at 6 energy.
Mm.
So I basically am forced into, if I want to play the package after I'm at 6 energy, I basically have to have a Zeno super combo to get it back in there, which is possible, but not an ideal way, I think, of playing it whenever I could pick up like a Sensu Bean and a good setup or a Dimension Magic and that sort of thing. But it's a really good offensive card in the sense that if it does stick, you're sucking up something. You've got 225 triple strikes into an EX Evolve 55k triple strike again. So it's a really strong game pusher, but all of it's 7 drops, so they're all hit by every single free Unison counterplay that exists, and none of them have barrier. So,
yeah, I think it's also fantastic because not a lot of people have experience against that particular package, so it can really scare a lot of players, knowing that you could just drop that out of that 1 drop. I did use Pretty Black Hole to remove the 1 drop. I mean, you were tapped out, so it wasn't going to be coming out that game, but I just didn't want to have to deal with it in the future. Usually Pretty Black Hole is used better to clear more of a board. But I felt decently safe burning it on my energy amp.
yeah, I wasn't sure what kind of removal you had in the deck, and I've never had anybody play Pretty Black Hole against me, because the only green that anybody plays is hand control. So, hadn't seen it before.
Yeah, Pretty Black Hole is... I know me and Fluff, we have a lot of love for that particular card. it's such a expected, unexpected tech, especially in blue-green decks where you really only imagine it being on a mono green card. But the Mafuba on the Zamasu really hurt my feelings. So I was like, I didn't want to have to play the other Zamasu. I had another play in mind, but I felt hurt by it, so I decided to play another one.
Yeah, it must hurt so bad to play Zamasus.
It felt really bad. You know? maybe you could splash some green into your SS3 and play Zamasus in there.
Oh yeah, of course. But it's a really weird spot in this game at this point because, like I mentioned earlier, I have no clue what any of these A16s do. And right now, all I'm seeing are Zamasus. So I'm like, I have no clue what I need to be playing around. I have no clue what I should be playing versus not playing, and what you can hit versus not hit. So I'm just drawing as many cards, hoping I can out-combo something that comes the next turn. It's kind of what's in my head right now.
Android 16 has such a wild control strategy that by the time you realize what it's trying to do, it's almost too late to do anything about it.
Mm-hmm. It takes a lot of studying the matchup and familiarizing yourself with what's both in their energy and in their hand. So while you go, okay, if they don't have a limiter disengaged in their energy, I might be able to win this. But now you have to worry about what's in their hand as well, which makes it really difficult to play around 16. So to do a quick rundown of the 16s, limiter disengaged is a revive blocker that will restand at the end of the turn. The 6-drop 16, he is a dual attack blocker revenge that will make your opponent discard a card on combo or on play. The 7-drop 16 is a double striker that will search the deck, add a 21 to your hand, and play a 21 from your hand. And the Star Walt Defender is will blow up something 4 or less, or add a 2-drop 16 to your hand. So you have so many good options, and you see I play the 7-drop 16 here, which will add a Android 21 to my hand and play one from my hand, which is kind of a weird text on a card. I don't think there's any other card that kind of has that same thing.
Yeah, not that I'm aware of.
So if you're not familiar with Bad Omen, when she comes into play, you pop an energy, you put one card from your opponent's life in the drop area, and then one of their battle cards into the drop area. So that's your ticket removal of anything without barrier, which is huge. It does cost 4 energy, but you get 2 bodies out of it, and you get to pretty much crit them a life.
Yeah. That card does so much.
Yeah. And you can also just play it from your energy if it's already there as well. You don't have to play it off of 16. So can really scare your opponent if you throw that into your energy early game, and now they have to worry about pretty much if you get them to 1 life, the game's over.
So the Spirit Boosting 1 for Tapion, compared to having your Unison on board as a potential blocker or -1 just to get rid of a problem card. I was just curious the mindset there for that trade out.
My mindset was I would get rid of 1 card, I have 2 life, and I don't have enough defense in my hand. So I was literally just fishing to hit the baby hatch to survive the turn.
Gotcha.
Because I didn't see it a single time all night, which was kind of unfortunate, but
it happens.
It's a 1 of in a deck, you know.
For sure. Baby Hatch would have been a huge play here because I am slowly running out of defensive options within the hand, and I was going to have to solely rely on my energy area pretty much after burning my Baby Hatch. Which that Murray Chim really made me clinch, and I decided to burn it there. I probably could have comboed out of it, but I didn't want to cripple myself going into the next turn.
Okay, so I didn't catch that while I was going over the editing. Did you, for some reason, put Zamasu at the bottom of your discard stack?
What's that?
He counterplayed your Zamasu.
Mm-hmm.
And you picked up your drop area and put it back down. I wasn't sure if you put the Zamasu back in your hand by accident, or did you put it in the drop? Because if I'm correct, the counterplay for Golden Avenger puts it in the drop.
I believe it puts it back in the hand.
Yeah, I think it's back to hand.
Is it back to hand for that one?
Yeah.
Okay. I was really confused when I was going back over the footage. I was like, I don't know if that's a thing or not. I don't play a lot of 5-drop babies, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's returned to hand.
Yeah. So here I chose to board both of the 6-drop 16s, which are big dual attack 25Ks. They're kind of a wall to get over, unless you, of course, have Baby Hatch or a lot of negates. But I think 16 is just a fantastic meta option right now. Like, it has options for everything popular right now. It is a little expensive to build if you don't have Zamasus, but honestly, I don't think you need Zamasus to make this deck work, or even Baby Hatch, because you have so many good options. Outside of just the base 16 cards, I don't think you need much else blue tech.
I mean, it does have
Zamasus come out in the Mythic Booster coming out too, so
sure.
it should be affordable. Come that drop.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it's a blue deck, so it has a blue defense. It could go wide, it could stay defensive. If you have Zamasus, there's that slight hand control element to it, which is not a bad thing. Overall, 16 is a great deck, and SS3 kind of held its own against it, which is pretty cool to watch. With that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Keep in mind there's buttons down below and on the screen while Fluff does the outro.
Love seeing two decks like this go at each other. Both are kind of that mid-range control style deck, so it was really kind of cool to see the Titans clash against each other. It looks like Jimmy just was able to edge out and advantage and everything else, which is really what Android 16 wants to do. So don't feel bad about that, Trevor. The first time I played against this deck, it's exactly what happened. Every time I did something, he had an answer, and it was frustrating. But as always, read your cards, know your place. Let us make the mistakes so that you don't have to, and as always, fluff out.